So the reason is, that is how it can survive during evolution. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, this, if you understand this, you understand most of the genetics. Here you see the two homologous chromosomes. There is a transposon here, and that jumped here. You see what happened. That two things happened here. It duplicated. One copy remained there. Another copy jumped into the distal portion of this gene. So now this expanded chromosome size, just one jump, bigger size. Here it is two things it did. This jump is in the middle of the gene, this is at the end of the gene. But the copy remained there only at the end of the gene. Okay. Here again you can see something. What is happening here? Chromosome size became bigger, but this black came here. And yellow remained there, yellow went there, that side. Chromosome size big, but chromosomal change occurred here. This is equivalent to a non-reciprocal gene exchange. Okay. Now you look at this one is unique here. A copy remained there. It jumped proximal to the gene. So this is a promoter region. If it jumped here, the transcription starts this side. You see this 5 prime, 3 prime. Then the gene is out. It just cannot function. We have evidence. We have example for everything. This happened in maize. Now here look, there is a gene. 3 exons here. This gene jumped into this distal of the second exon, and now huge thing is sitting. This transcript will not occur. These two transcripts, so it will result into a truncated protein. This is called exon shuffling or exon sharing. This is very, very common in plants. Okay, now here a copy moved to the other side. The two genes here, green and violet. This can happen here. Both these will be eliminated in the replication. So we have mechanisms by which transposon can survive nicely, multiply nicely. Only replicated copies move around. On the other hand, there are mechanisms by which it can get lost. And we can engineer both now. Now we know. We can engineer a transposon that sits once and gets out, or a transposon that moves in there and never moves out of that. That is the beauty of this system, by which thousands of mutations can be induced. Target a gene, move the transposon into it, and switch it off. This can be done. This is being done. So all these are examples. All these are examples. And it will be difficult for you to even see what is happening here. You see a copy here, but it looks almost similar, but they are not similar. This is black here. There is no black there. So bits and pieces of chromosomes keep moving, and that's how you end up tremendous variation in plants. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is a real example in maize. Chromosome number 9, chromosome number 4. There is a gene called alcohol dehydrogenase. That's a gene here. All this, and this another gene, A22, U22. Now this is the natural chromosome without any transposons in it. Suddenly during evolution, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements jumped into this gene, all between here and here only. Exon number 3. So here only. Now that's not it. What else happened? Another transposon jumped into its own. This is a daughter copy. This is a daughter. This jumped into this. This jumped into that. That jumped in on these two jumped into these 3. These 2, and these 3 jumped into this, and that jumped. So what is happening here? So a chromosome here, one element jumps, and a copy of that element jumps on this. Some other element jumps into that. Nothing to do with the plant chromosome. The original jump was this. Original insertion was this. And you see how many things are happening. That is the way they jump. They make the chromosomes bigger and bigger and bigger. At one time, there is a chromosome in which 100 copies, 100 different elements jumped into it. It was very difficult for us in the lab to name them. So, for example, here, this FAO, OP, TK, this is TT. These are all names of the postdoc students, postdoctoral research students, or the PhD students who discovered those, because they are out of names. So keep whoever is available in the lab there. My name is also there. AR1 is there. Okay. So that means such a rapid evolution is occurring, rapid change occurring in the genome. Sequences are jumping into it left and right. And on the distal portion of the alcohol dehydrogenase gene region, 1, 2, 3, 4, only one jumped into it. Whereas here in the middle region, 1, 2, 3, 4 jumped into this. So all this chromosome number 4 maize has hundreds of these retrotransposons. Next slide. Here again a classical example. This is MCC is a McClintock discovery. McClintock found 2 regions. This is hell 1, hell 2. We call hell because it is a hell because nobody could understand what was happening. So somebody got frustrated and said that was Jeff Bennettson who called it as a hell because everything is mapping there but we don't find anything. So that region followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jump. This is normal. Greens are genes. Rest of them yellows are transposons. 5 of them jumped into the intraspace regions, and this is one big one jumped here, and there is a DNA transposon jumped into there. But what are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These 10 are the DNA methylation sites created, epigenetic imprints, signature sequences. So transposons are not only jumping around, they are inserting signature sequences. Those are DNA methylation sites. DNA methylation silences the genes, you know that. One reason, epigenome is bigger than the genome. So one of the epigenetic mechanisms is the transposons. Now you see this here, these keep on increasing the methylation site. There was no methylation sites there. They were all introduced here. There's a big cacti element here, another element, DNA element, something new here. On this, these are all maize varieties bred at University of Missouri, where she worked. McClintock worked for some time. First Cornell University and then University of Missouri. So hell 1, hell 2 here, all these jumped into hell 2, and now there is no hell 2. It's gone here. So it turns out that chromosome can be targeted by these transposons. We can now target by using the same, copying this mechanism by which a natural transposon jumps into a chromosome. We can engineer such a transposon and target it to the same gene, either distal or portion or the proximal, and switch off the gene or activate the genes. Both can be done. Okay. Next slide. Again, same thing. Next. Okay. This is the final slide, which will tell you what is happening. This is the 9th chromosome again, one of the portion. The red are unknown sequences. Okay. The in between are the unknown sequences. Now you see there are 3 genes, 1, 2, 3 genes, and unknown sequence is yellow. So this is what is there in Setaria italica, millet. But when it comes to sorghum, you see what happened. 1, 2, 3 elements, transposon jumped, and then there is the red one here, and no gene is disturbed. When it comes to rice, these 2 don't exist there, but there is a violet one. 2 violet ones showed. Those violet ones are DNA transposons. 1, 2, 3. And by the time Z maize comes, you see how many transposons jumped. 1, 2, 3, something like 28 transposons jumped into this same chromosomal area. So this little piece in one of the sister grasses became this big in maize itself. So what were added? LTRs, tRNA sites, mites, that is middle repetitive interspersed transposable elements, cacta, long interspersed nuclear elements, DNA transposon elements. All of these are added from here to here in one chromosomal area. This is expansion. This is a 5 times bigger than that, at least. So 5 times the chromosomal size has been increased. So this is called evolution by expansion of the genomes. Next slide. So what is the plant genome landscape looks like? It is not simple increase in size. Plant genomes are dynamic, they're changing, evolved through genomic changes via gene duplications, deletions, inversions, translocations, marked with mechanisms of gene silencing, including genome silencing and epigenetic complex generation, regulation of homology-dependent recombination, and restricting rapid expansion of TE content in the genome. This mechanism is now identified, that there is a way of reducing the homologous recombination and not allow the transposons to flourish. Evolvability of a plant genome may be largely contributed by transposons, not by the plant genome itself. A plant genome is more evolvable rapidly not because of its own DNA, but it is because of the transposable elements. This is the crux of my talk. Next slide. That's it. That's a rice field in Japan when we visited. It is actual field of about 100 acres. They grow the colored rices. There's a transposon in the colored one and non-transposable elements, normal rice in the whole field from a helicopter shot. So,
rainfall is high and stream density is high. Wherever the open areas in the form of orange or yellow color is there, you see that stream density is poor and rainfall is also poor. Now I will pick up one stream in one of the sub-basin and try to understand this further. See what I do it, if you look at, there is one stream here, this is a stream of order 1. Two of stream first order join form second order, then it forms a tributary. Like this, each tributary has a sub-basin. Now you can see the smaller polygons here which gives the sub-basin. Now I will pick up one stream and that sub-basin, what is the rainfall and what is the forest cover, I will study that. Now when you look at this, on the eastern side, that means this side, you see the sub-basins and the rainfall, and this is the western side. When you look at eastern side, the forest cover is 30%, rainfall is 1076, 41% 1710, and forest cover in the west is 65%, rainfall is 4800, or the 60% 4100. Now this shows the percentage forest cover in the catchment decides the rainfall. Anyone has a doubt? This is based on the rainfall analysis of 118 years. Okay. Now I have picked up one stream in each basin. I will monitor that for 18 to 24 months. Every month my students go and measure how much water is available and how many months is available. Now we grade stream as A, B, C, D. A are the stream which has the water all 12 months. B are the one which has the water for 8 months. C are the one for the 6 months, and D are the one which has only 4 months. Now let us see where this A, B, C, D type of streams occur. A occurs when the catchment has a forest cover more than 60%, okay, that too of native vegetation. See, higher proportion is of native vegetation. When you convert that native forest into monoculture plantation of rubber, acacia, eucalyptus, then you see the water availability becomes 6 to 8 months. You know, somebody converts the forest, enclose a forest, makes it a rubber plantation. Go to the place like the called Sulia here. How many thieves are there? You can find out. They have converted the forest into the rubber plantation. Now they have got rubber, they get money. But surrounding villages have lost 4 months or 6 months of water. See, this is what you need to understand. One fellow looting the natural resources deprives the people of the basic need, that is water. So now if you say that water is available in stream 6 to 8 months, the villagers have lost 4 to 6 months of water. This is what you need to understand. When we degrade the catchment, the streams become D. That means only 4 months the water is available. So now see, wherever forest is less than 30%, you see that situation. So now you understood, if you want water in your stream or well, how much the vegetation cover should be there in your catchment. So that decides. See, we also analyze what is how much it get reflected in the revenue for the people. Wherever the villages which are in the vicinity of the forest, native forest are there, people are earning about 1,54,000 rupees per acre per year, because they could grow 3 crops, the water was available 12 months. Now those who are in the vicinity of rubber plantation, they were earning 32,000 rupees per acre per year. Now 32,000, hundreds of villages are getting 32,000 per acre. One big fellow is getting rubber, which is a big money. Now that means these fellows have lost the water, at the same time their livelihood. See, if you are talking about social justice, you need to keep this in mind. You should not deprive the local people of their water. For that, you know, the planning is required. So this is one thing you have to keep in mind. Okay. Now how does this work? Let us understand the science part of it. See, when you have the vegetation, the native vegetation, the diverse native vegetation has the diverse microorganism in the soil. Diversity of microorganism makes the soil more porous, and because of that water infiltrate and fill the zone. You know, it filled this groundwater zone and then it filled this zone, and then only after saturation of these two you see the water flowing in the stream. Now suppose if you remove this native vegetation, make it rubber plantation. You know, rubber plantation, the leaves are thick, takes longer time to degrade. In the process the water might percolate only to fill this zone. Now what is the advantage of filling the water in this region? See, this region gets the rain only for 4 months. Now 4 months because of the rainfall, and 4 months because the water is stored here comes to the river or stream for the 4 months. Then next 4 months the water in the saturated zone comes to the river or stream. So that's how the stream has water all 12 months. When you have rubber plantation, you have 4 months because of the rain and 4 months because of this filled in this zone. Now if you remove this vegetation completely, make it a concretized bed, everything goes on the overland, nothing goes in the underlying layer. So because nothing has gone in the underlying layer, you have flash floods but no water for the 8 months. That's where the crisis starts. Okay. Now let's look at the organism, the diversity of the organisms. You see the fauna. You can see that animals are there where water is there 12 months. This establishes the link between hydrology with the ecology, with the land cover. The kind of forest cover in the landscape decides the ecology of the region and also the biodiversity with the hydrology. So this is one of the important things that came out of our study in the Sharavati basin. Then something else also we saw. This fish, we discovered the new species, Schistosura nagodiensis and Schistosura sharavatiensis. They have the medicinal properties. Now for this fish to survive, I should have water in the stream 12 months, and this fish is endemic. I cannot bring that fish to some other place and grow in this one. I cannot do it either in Sema Farai or any other place. I need to have that. Then only you can have medicinal property of the fish. If you bring it to the other place and try to cultivate that, culture it, then the medicinal property gets eroded. So that means people need the fish. If they want to have the fish there, the water should be there 12 months. For the stream to have water 12 months, surrounding catchment should have the native vegetation. That means this fish tells me there is a link between the aquatic diversity with the terrestrial diversity. See, this is the beauty of the nature. If you understand the nature, you can make a interdisciplinary studies. It also makes you more excited. When my students come up with this kind of result, they also get excited, and today some of them have become successful. Okay. Now let's look at these are algae in the region. There is a diversity. People have not documented. There's opportunity for you to describe the new things. When you invent a machine, you might get your license, but describing a species gives you the happiness. You will understand the other properties of the organism also. Now look at this frog, the Philatus leucorinus. This frog, you all know the frogs are known as amphibians. Why they are called amphibian? Because they have dual life. What is the dual life? In their life cycle, one part is in the water, other part is on the land. That the juvenile stage is in the water and adult stage is in on the land. Because of that dual this one we call them amphibian. Now this particular frog, it bypasses the tadpole stage. That means this fellow must have faced the water crisis, so that's where it has learned how to continue the progeny. Bypassing the tadpole stage is an indication of the water scarcity, and this is what this animal has learned, how to get adapted to the newer situation. We are talking about changes in climate, we are talking about mitigation, we are talking about adaptation. You take my words, when there is a climate change by these humans, anthropocentric climate change, you will see that extinction of the human race, but these animals will survive because they know how to continue the progeny, whereas we humans, though we claim that we have a great brain, we fail when it comes to the natural process. That's what you need to keep in mind. This again makes you to get excited. When my postdoctoral fellow got the fertilized egg to the lab, we just monitored it 14 days. When the young ones emerged out of the 14 days without tadpole, we were so excited. You know, that kind of excitement you will get only when you start getting involved in the science in a sincere way. If you are doing science for the sake of certificate, that science will not take you to the top. If you want to be on the top, to be the leader, you need to understand the underlying process. I am sure that today, after listening to my talk, if two kids come out and say that we will do something for the country, I would say purpose of me traveling to the Mangalore has materialized. In fact, if you look at my schedule, I was in Kochi, then I moved to the Rajasthan, Jaipur, and then I landed here. Almost I enter my home, keep my luggage, take the another luggage and been moving out. That's because wherever the children take part, I make it a point to go and address them. I do not go to the bureaucratic meetings so often, but I make sure I attend the thing so that I am sure there is someone, C.V. Raman, sitting in the room. That person's brain get ignited with this kind of lecture. Probably you will start thinking differently after the seminar. What you have been today, till today, your path might be something different from today onwards. Okay? So, now based on this, we said which are the region to be ecologically sensitive. I said only the 40% or 5% of the India has to be the protected to sustain the water and give the medicine to our children. Can't we keep that, even that, 0.8% of the landscape for our children? See, that's the tragedy of the current generation. Okay? Now, you understood there is a linkage, the microclimate, then water availability in the stream I have demonstrated, and also biodiversity linkages. Now, recently we also published this in one of the prime journal, because somebody made some criticism on one of my work when I said that the Netravati diversion should not happen. Etinhole, I raised a voice. Somebody in the bureaucracy said that I am not a water expert. To counter that, that became a big news in the newspaper. Some of you would have read in the paper, those who have a habit of reading the newspaper. But when that person criticized, I told my student, 60 days from today, I am going to give my response to this gentleman. So that gentleman got such a thing. We published in an international journal in a Yale University and sent that hard copy to him to know whether I am a scientist working on water and ecology or he is the great man on the earth. I don't know now. After reading my paper, he must be sleeping in the room. Okay. Now, again, what I showed here, the same thing I have presented in the Edison Kali Basin. See the land cover dynamics and the rainfall pattern. But what you need to understand is, see, when there is trees, people say trees transpire the water. Okay, there is a loss of water, and most of the civil engineers who are graduated in 50s and 70s, they think that trees are culprit. But this paper we disproved whatever the wrong assumption. We show when you have trees, it allows the water infiltration. And whatever it has infiltrated, only the 30% of that is get transpired. That remaining 70% is available for societal need. See, that's what we showed. Wherever forests are there, infiltration is much higher than the transpiration. And wherever forests are removed, you see the transpiration is much higher than infiltration. So people remove the forest, they lost the water. So that's what. Now if you add the societal requirement for your domestic purpose, livestock, agriculture, etc. See, you see that wherever forests are there, water available not only for ecological process but also for the societal demand. Wherever forests are not there, there is the water scarcity. That's what is happening in Tumkur, Kolar, etc. The 21st century, the engineers have come up with a plan to transfer the water from Etinhole to those regions. They say 24 TMC of water they are transferring. When I do the analysis, there is only 12 TMC, sorry 9.85 TMC. Why they got 24 and why I am getting 9.85? Those great fellows, to push the project, they assumed higher rainfall. They assumed a rainfall of 6,000 millimeter per year in a place where the rainfall is 3,000 to 4,000 millimeter. When you take that 50% of that 12 TMC is the thing. And they also assume whatever the water falls in the region, everything goes to the ocean. But you should also know that when the water falls in the region, 40 to 50% of water goes in the underlying layer. That's what I demonstrated. So that means, 9.85 TMC is the yield in the catchment in a place where they claim 24 TMC. Out of 9.85 TMC, 6 TMC is required for the local people here in Netravati Basin for their domestic purpose, irrigation, etc. Okay, 2 TMC is required for the fish. When I deduct that, there is only 0.85 TMC is left. So I wrote an article saying, where is 24 TMC? Is it a crime? But there was an advertisement in all the paper in this region questioning my integrity. When I said that where is the thing, this project is not economically viable and ecologically viable or hydrologically feasible, when I proved that, then somebody from this region organized a public meet. I came and gave a presentation which was telecasted. After that, I wrote an open letter to the Chief Minister and Prime Minister of that day saying that how unscientific this project is. But one thing, good thing happened was the advertisement in the paper has come to a stop from that day, but still the project is there. The project will continue as long as the people in this region do not have the spinal cord. When there is such a scientific report is given, if people of today in this region do not rise, then this kind of project is going to come. Another thing you need to understand is there is a bottling of water happens in this region. I have quantified about 6 TMC of water is bottled from Netravati Basin, goes to places like Mumbai, Bangalore, etc. So my 9.85 TMC has not accounted that. If this water is shifted to Kolar, first of all there is no water. If they shifted, then the bottling units also will go. See, this is going to be the huge economic loss for the region. Those who are from this region, just check your spinal cord and go and check your parents' spinal cord and make them to wake up, okay? Now, this gives the diversity of plants and animals. You see that wherever water is there for 12 months, the diversity of species also higher. So that again I am proving, and this gives the, wherever forests are there, native forests are there, you have water for 12 months. You come to my lab, do the same analysis, you will be surprised to see this relationship. Sitting in the, Vidhan Sauda talking about water is not a great thing. When you do this kind of analysis, you will understand the linkages. Okay? Now, see, that's why elders have identified this kind of patch of forest. They said for the forest to be there, they will get the water. So that's why they designated those patch of forest as Devarakadu or sacred groves. In this district, that Devarakadu has become only Nagarabana, one small, this one. People have followed that even Devarakadu. For money, anything can happen. See, this is again a tragedy. But I work in Uttara Kannada and Shivamogga, Coorg. Still in those regions, the Devarakadus are there, and because of that, people get water also. Now, there is a great thing people talk about, diverting the river linking. The fellow who doesn't know the water, the dynamic, sitting in Delhi says, I will connect Kaveri with Ganga. Another joker in Bangalore will wake up and will say, yes, that is wonderful. But those who are pushing such project should also go to Gujarat downstream and see the horrible status of those farmers and fishermen. Their groundwater has become saline, the productivity has gone down. So that is where one should understand and respect the nature's principles. The day when you disrespect nature principle, either you have become selfish, nor you are not useful to the society. To summarize what I said so far, when you saw the landscape covered with a native species, you saw the water 12 months. When Mother Earth is covered with the saree of native species, she retains the water and gives the water for 12 months. When you convert that native saree into synthetic saree of rubber, acacia eucalyptus, she retains the water only for 6 to 8 months. That means people will lose the water for 4 to 6 months. And when we degrade the landscape too much, below 30% forest cover, people will not have the water other than the monsoon. That's what is happening in most of the places. This is one of the significant results. With this, I will take up my today's talk. I do not know how much more time I have, but still I think I started at 12:45. Am I right? Oh, you have reduced from 1 hour to 45 minutes? Okay. So let me see. So now what I will do is, see, if you can also look at your own plate every day what you take, you can also help in water conservation. See, the people who take pulses every day also help in water conservation, because to grow pulses you need only 200 liters of water, 1 kg of pulses. To grow a 1 kg of cereals, rice or the wheat, you need 3000 to 5000 liters, and to grow sugar cane, you need 10,000 liters per kg of sugar, and for meat, 1 kg of meat, beef requires about 15,000 liters. Now depending on the water footprint, you can decide what food you should eat. And what are the advantages of these pulses? It reduces the instances of cancer, improves the digestion, it gives you the what are the neural the disorders you can get all of the things. See, one of my colleague, when he was head of the institute, he had all the problem related to that position. What are the position problem? Health related the position problem, the blood pressure, then sugar, all those things. But after retirement, look at the dinner plate. He takes 5 varieties of fruit, 5 varieties of vegetable, and a bowl of pulses. Okay, today he is about 73. He doesn't have sugar nor blood pressure. So he has become healthy. Now when I look at his plate, what does it say? He has 5 varieties of vegetable, 5 varieties of the fruit, that gives the diversity, and the pulses which gives the stability. That means when you have a diverse staple food, you are also helping the country, and also you yourself will be happy. Okay. Now that is what you need to understand, energy and material transition in nature. Then remediation is another thing which you should know. You will see people washing clothes somewhere in the river. Other end, people are collecting the water for their drinking purpose. You just go and test the water. You will see that water, what they are collecting, when the water is flowing, not contaminated at all, as long as you do not cross the threshold. So that means the nature has the ability to treat. Since the biological organisms are involved, we call that phenomena as bioremediation. That is another emerging area you should keep in mind. Couple of my students who work on bioremediation has the highest citation also. So then this is another example of sustainability. See, look at this carefully. Here the lady is about 55 years. She goes under the water for 5 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes, she is under the water and collects a bucket full of bivalves. She collects a bucket full of bivalves which fetches her about 300 rupees, which is enough to manage her family. Now look at us, the urbanites. What we want? Not only we want to earn for ourselves for that day, we want to earn for our great grandchildren also. That is what happens. See, this lady tells me, as long as he doesn't do the over harvesting, sustainability is there. She is a good example of the sustainable harvesting and sustainable livelihood. So now look at the urban, the Bangalore, Silicon Valley. See how the lady is exposed. She earns only 25 rupees a day, okay, but exposed to contaminate. So now you decide whether a lady in Uttara Kannada coast or a South Kannada coast is more happy and more healthy compared to this lady in the Bangalore. Okay. Now let us understand the imbalance, why it happens. So now I will skip some of the slides, but I will give you some of the see, using remote sensing data you should be able to analyze these things. So those who want to know more about this thing, go to my website. My talks are available in YouTube, so you can download. There are TED talks are also there. If you want 15 minutes, there is a TED talks are available. If you are ready to listen 2 hours, there is another set of talks are available. You can download and listen to that. Okay. Now I have come here just to share some knowledge, so you can enhance further with those downloading those the videos. Okay. Now let us look at the Bangalore, what is happening. See, again using remote sensing data which is available from 1970, you should be able to do this analysis. Look at Bangalore in 1970, the city had 68% green cover, that means tree cover, blue is water body, yellow is open space, and red is only here, and 7.97% is the building. Today what has happened, 76% is under red. Now what is the situation in 2020, 2025, you should be able to project, because we know the agents of change. Now to do that, what did we do? I just looked at the behavior of the agent. Understanding the behavior of the agent, I said what is likely to happen in 2020 and 2025. See 2020, see 1973 most part of the city is green. 92 you see with the industries coming up in Pune and Koramangala, you see changes happening. 2000 with ITBT coolies coming in Bangalore, you see the changes happening in the outskirts. Then 2006 intensification happened, 2009 further intensification. Now 2017 is 78.7. Okay. Now if this trend continues, what is likely to happen 2020? You just see the last 4 decades. There has been 1028% increase in the concrete area. We lost 88% of tree cover and 79% of the water bodies. If this trend continues, the region would be unlivable. That's what I said. So I will skip this. Okay, we understood the agents of the behavior, and then we projected what is the likely scenario. So 2020, 93% of the landscape will be covered with building, and 2025 it is going to be 98.5%. You all know that for you to live on the earth you need oxygen and water. Am I right? From where you get oxygen? From the plants, whether it is aquatic or terrestrial, but we are losing that. Now I wrote an editorial in the Current Science highlighting this, and that's where I said that Bangalore is dying, dead city. Those who have read the paper would know that 2 years back it was a popular article actually. Many people talked about dead city and all those things. Okay. Now things are going bad. What can be done? So I will take another 5 or 8 minutes to highlight that what can be done. That's where science and technology helps. See, one is the water. If water is not available, how to get water? Only the scientists can do that, not your miracle thumb babas. So you should keep that in mind. Okay. So that is my technology, wastewater treatment. Make it economically viable. Everyone in the home will do it. Okay. Then let us see how many trees are there in Bangalore. When we do this kind of analysis, see that my campus, University of Science campus is 400 acres. We are 5,000 people. When we quantified, there are 22,000 trees are there. We did that mapping using GPS. Similar exercise we did in couple of wards. Since we had remote sensing data for the entire Bangalore, we could link that and find out what is the number of trees in Bangalore. We have 1.5 million trees for the 9.5 million people. That means for every 7% one tree is there. But what is the number of trees you require? You all give out carbon dioxide to an extent of the 1 kg to half kg. Younger people 980 grams per person per day, while the elderly people about 540 grams per person per day. Now by that, and 1 hectare of tree sequester the carbon to about 6 to 8 tons. By that every person should have 7 to 8 trees. But what we have in Bangalore is 7% 1 tree. Today in Bangalore people use oxygen cylinder in the late evenings. That is the stage we have reached. If you are sitting in Bangalore thinking of Bangalore as a great city, the city is great because we don't have oxygen. So people, those who have a weak lungs, they are dependent on these kind of things. Okay. So now the lakes is another reason. Lakes have been polluted, abused, and these are all things happening. You see that the water quality, if the lake is in good condition, you know, by the time water enters, sewage enters and goes to this end, the treatment would happen. Okay. But when the lake is overloaded, you see the profuse growth of macrophyte. You would have seen in some of the lakes all these water hyacinth, etc. When that happens, you see the lake is not functioning. That is evident from DO level. See, at inlet 0, but at outlet it is about 9 to 12. That means when the water body is not covered with macrophyte, there is a higher dissolved oxygen even if you are letting the sewage. But when it is covered with the water hyacinth, you see that at inlet 0, outlet 3 to 4. That means lake has stopped functioning. Now those thick bed of macrophyte, will not allow the sunlight to penetrate. In the absence of sunlight, your fish will not thrive. So now when you look at that, see, this is what happens. The algae, zooplankton, small fish, large fish. So when you pollute the water body, you lose the algae, and in the process you lose the fish. Now how much you lose it? See, when we did the quantification, we looked at what are the causal factors. These are all the locations where people dump the sewage and solid waste. So then what is the solid waste they have dumped, we have quantified. And when you look at when the lake is polluted, what is the kind of the fish etc. you get it. See, it comes down to 20 rupees per day per hectare. When the lake is in good condition, it's about 10,500 rupees per day per hectare. People get fish, fodder, etc. That means by polluting the lake, we are making the people in that vicinity lose their livelihood. The fishermen lose their fish and the farmers lose their fodder, for their livestock. This is the implication of elite people polluting the water bodies in this country. Now, see, these are the great images you would have seen. Lot of people come and take selfie there. I do not know what is the purpose of that. So this is a froth happening in the lake. I don't know why they have to come and take selfie. I feel bad about that, but there are some youngsters from Delhi come and take a selfie. Okay. Now second thing is there is a fire in the lake. You go to any part of the globe, no one can show the coexistence of fire and water. But my Bangalore shows the coexistence of water and fire. Okay. This also shows inefficiency in the system, improper management of the system. Now what is the solution? If the froth is happening, how do you curtail it? You should look at why froth happened and then curtail that. No? But what the 21st century Babus do, they just put on barricade. Okay? They put the barricade. I said that is atrocious, ad hoc decision. It is not going to solve the problem. But immediately after my article in the paper, the people said, no, I am cynic. This time they have succeeded. But their success was only for 4 days. After the 4th day, the froth crossed over to tell everyone, no one can go against the principles of science. Ad hoc decisions are not based on the science, it is based on the economic terms, because putting those barricades costed 2 crores, the 40% of 2 crores these engineers can pocket it. That was the agenda of that, and many people do not understand these things. Okay? Now let us see how it affects the humans like you and me. See the fish that grows in the lake and the fodder that grows in the lake like alternanthera, you collect the sample, and people grow the vegetable in the vicinity like pudina, spinach and all those things. You collect the sample and analyze. You will see higher amount of heavy metals in all these things. Water has heavy metal, the fish has heavy metal, and the vegetable has the heavy metal. Even the fodder which goes to the livestock has heavy metal, and milk has heavy metal. Now what is the implication of that? The kidney failure, which was 1 in 1 lakh 10 years back, today it is 1 in 5,000. In one of the articles I have said, if this trend continues, now every ward has a dialysis unit. The day is not far off, every house may have to have the dialysis unit. And if still goes bad, every child may have to have additional unit of that while going to school, and this one. That is the kind of the thing we are, and everyone thinks from that angle, okay, there is a problem, let us come with that kind of a remedial measure, but no one is thinking about the solution at the source. As a youngster, you should understand these basic things. Then solution at the source, if you can handle it, then you have solved the problem of the region. So you should not allow the people to pollute and then suffer and then come with some remedial measures. Okay? The situation in Bangalore is something like this today. Of course, that's my student. He left the country. He is sitting in US, Oregon State University. Whenever I talk to him, he says, sir, till Bangalore becomes normal, I will not come back to the India. See, losing a youth from a country is also a dangerous thing. We need youth so that they can run the system better. Okay? Now, I will skip some other thing. We have worked on greenhouse gases and other issues. I will not get into the thing. But you see that how system works. The floods are happening in the region because lakes are being encroached and drains are being encroached. Why? There is no action from the people who are supposed to take action. You might say, sir, why are you using the old slides? Okay, for you, I will put another one. See whether any change in the system, both are closing the eyes because none of them are interested in the human problems, the societal problem, that is the thing. Okay. Now you understood this one. Now I am in the last part of my talk, how the temperature in the region is increasing. Let us look at it. See the temperature in the city, again using remote sensing data you can do the analysis. You see that we studied the city from 8 direction. You see noted down the temperature profile. You see wherever lakes are there, where parks are there, or the gardens are there, temperature is at least 2 degree lower. Even my campus, the temperature is 2 degree lower. You come to my campus, nobody shouts. But here when I walk, everybody shouts on the road. You know there is a difference. Where the pollution is high, you will see a lot of shoutings and this one happens. Okay. Now you understood this, I will not summarize this. But what needs to be done? See, that is why my solution is, people should have the sense of belonging to the region. They will never pollute. Those who do not feel for the region, for their village, town or the country are the culprits. And the second S is sincerity, which is missing in the bureaucracy. Probably if you become decision maker, probably you might be a different set of people. And the third one is a spinal cord is missing in the regulatory agencies like Pollution Control Board, etc. The people who are working there, I don't know what happens to them. Although they will carry briefcase with a lot of currency, their body is always bent 45 degree. Because of that, they are not taking any action on the airing industries, etc. Okay. Now, how do you treat the wastewater? Let us see. Okay. Now, see the simple technology. What I did with the treatment plant, I just incorporated your marshy plants like colocasia, Kesa, then Typha, the elephant grass, etc. You know, by the time when it passed through the constructive wetland and algae pond, the nutrient in the water is removed. Your sewage mainly consists of N and P. N gets in because we all eat protein, P gets in because we wash the cloth with detergent. So N and P has to be removed. Now this is a viable thing. See, this is done at a place called Jakkur. This is popularly known as Jakkur model or ISC model. Sometimes people refer it as TVS model. So this is the model which has been working for the 10 years. We have prepared the report which is available on the net based on the 10 years monitoring of the thing. These are simple technology. We understood how much nutrient these plants require and take. We just put the bed of those plants. As the water passes through, the nutrient is removed and the water is not getting contaminated in the lake. Now the implication of that is the surrounding bore wells, you know, 2005 had nitrate level, higher nitrate level. Today, you go and see nitrate is not there. Nitrate is a carcinogen which introduces cancer. That means at least 300 plus bore well users. I am giving the water without nutrient, that means without nitrate. See, as a researcher, if you do that, that's the greatest service you are doing to the nation. You should make sure the society gets a benefit. Now, how much nutrient is removed we have quantified. Now, can you do the rainwater harvesting? That's another option. When you do that, you might have a lot of water in your region, but don't think that water will be there all the time. The Mangalore also suffers water crisis. You know, Sulabha Sauchalaya was closed in 2014 and 15. What else do you want to prove? At one end you get 4,000 millimeter, other end you have a water crisis. Now what is the best way to harvest the rainwater? Individual houses having rooftop harvesting will give 3 to 4 months additional water. The another one at community level is through the lakes. See how much water is available in Bangalore. If you look at from the rain of 700 to 850 millimeter, we get about 15 TMC. Bangalore requires 18 TMC. That means 70% of the water requirement I can meet through the rainwater harvesting. So that is what we have done through this interconnected lake. Now there are 194 water bodies still in Bangalore. If I rejuvenate those lakes, I have solved the water problem of the region, and we are moving in that direction. See these many lakes. This is the, see 3 of my students have monitored all the lakes in Bangalore in 2.5 years. So this is the power of the youth of my country. You know, that is the thing we have to harness, so that we can make the children to understand the importance of the ecosystem. At the same time, when they become decision maker, they will not do the same mistake what my generation has done it. Okay. Now you understood the water sustainability. For that I have 5R principle. For that a responsible citizen is required. When people are responsible, they will allow the rainwater harvesting through the lakes, that 15 TMC. If you are using 18 TMC of water, you are also generating 18 TMC of wastewater. Through the Jakkur model, you can get 16 TMC of water. That means 15 plus 16 TMC, 31 TMC of water is available in the region where there is a water requirement of 18 TMC. Where the region is dying for water, I have made it surplus. You know, this is the thing one has to implement in the region. Okay. Now, entire state, I have looked at the lakes are there. First and foremost thing, before thinking of the transferring water from Etinhola or Netravati, let us rejuvenate the lakes. That's what you people should ask the chief minister of the state, you know, ever crying chief minister. Now the election team, both father, son and grandchildren, everyone will be crying on the dais. You go and catch the rain, that tears and give this request to them, okay. And when I look at every ruler in the country, in the globe, has created the water bodies. Now you see that from the Ramayana time, I see there is a king or a prince has created the water body. Even today, when I come across, I see the people listening to us implementing it. End of my talk, if some youngster comes and say that I will go home and make my parents to create at least one water body in my village, I would say the job of my traveling has fulfilled. How I succeed, you can see. I was in Mangalore in 2016 in St. Aloysius giving a talk. This gentleman came to know I am in Mangalore. He called me, he said that, can we meet? I said fine. We met at 9 o'clock in the night, because till 7 o'clock I had a sessions in the St. Aloysius. Then 9 o'clock it took a travel 2 hours. Then when I reached there 9 o'clock, then when I presented like you people are listening, he also listened. He said I have 12 acres of land. In that 12 acres of land, how much water can be harvested, which is the lowest point, we analyzed and gave him a proposal. Because there was a water scarcity in the region 2014 and 15, he knew the implication of water not there. So believe it or not, in 15 days he creates a water body and plants the native sapling in the region. That is what the proposal we gave, and he implements in 15 days. You know, that is where the society and spirituality and science has to go hand in hand. You know, when they go hand in hand, you will have sustainability. If you deal with this, then you will not have sustainability. Now, I saw the successes because of this youth. You know, the youngsters of today. Now, this youth, I saw that, you know, Alva's college CEO is also responsible for that. Then I gave next talk to that Alva's fellow. So I told him to create a water body. 2017, he creates another water body in his campus which stores 25 lakh liters of water. You see that the beauty of this is, how many students are there in that Alva's? 25,000 kids, 10 times the water we have stored there, okay. Now, when we visited this region, 2018, see the water along with the greenery, and you can see the happiness in everybody's face, okay. So now, this is the water body I created in my campus in 2008. You know, last 10 years, every year it stores 10 lakh liters of water. How much water I consume? My family 500 liters a day into 365, 1.5 lakh. That means 10 times the water I am storing in my soil. Whether humans are happy or not, I do not know. Certainly my students are happy, and more importantly, even the biological organisms are happy. You see this organism there, okay. You know what is this? This is a otter. We do not know from where it has come. And for this otter to be there, it must be having the fish also, because I am not feeding that. So now when we did the documentation of that, you see that 2008 onwards how the lake looks like. This is the algae, this is zooplankton, this is fish, and this is a bird, and this is the otter. So this is a kind of, that means complete ecosystem is established there. My job was only creating the water body. This is the power of you people. If you create, you are making the entire system to thrive. And you see that recently one of my students came across a skin of a snake. We asked him to measure, because our job is to measure, no. When he measured, he said 279 centimeters is the length of the skin of the snake. Then we asked him, what is the maximum length in our country? For my surprise, he said, after 2 days review of literature, he came and said, sir, it is about 239 centimeters. So the youngsters who are here, I am from Institute of Science. My institute is number 1 in the country. My institute is number 1 because of my students, our students. The institute is not just the student excel, even the animals in my campus also excel. That's the beauty of my campus. If you want to shine and give something to the nation, come to my campus. But to enter my campus, you need to be dedicated and have whatever the required material in your brain, so that once you have sincerity, you can achieve the success. Okay. Now, I will wind up with this case study. See, this is a pond in Gokarna. It was stinking. Look at the small scientific understanding how it helps. You know, the people were complaining. Some youth approached me saying that there is a problem. Now, we went there, we analyzed the water. At the same time, Gram Panchayat has came up with a rejuvenation. They were about to spend 15 lakh rupees for that, rejuvenation of that pond. Now, when we analyzed the water sample, we found that the water quality is degrading with a high BOD. It is because of more organic matter is coming. Why more organic matter comes? Because people perform rituals. You know, when they do this Shraddha, the 12th anniversary, the rice balls and the other organic material are disposed in the pond. The Visarjana happens there. Now, I cannot stop that practice in my country. I can stop anything else. But that kind of practice I cannot stop. So, what did I do? I just knew the causal factor. Then I had a meeting with the priests. Our understanding with the priest is that they should make sure that these organic material are disposed at a designated place. We name that as a Vaikunta. And when that disposal happens, these priests have to chant and they have to collect 20 or 25 rupees per family. Now, in the process, every month I have 20 to 25,000 rupees revenue. Now, that money is given to an NGO which has hired 3 youths to do this regular harvesting of the macrophyte. Okay? And also the excess rice balls from this water body, they take it out and give it to Goshala. So, in the meanwhile, we also introduce a fish which eats rice. Now, see, that is an ecological or science-based intervention. We introduce the fish which eats the rice. In the meanwhile, you see the success of the model, the 3 youth got a job and cattle gets a good food because these rice balls are with the ghee and jaggery, all those things is very tasty. So, now the Gorakshaks and Go both will get the happy situation. Now, more importantly, you see the water body which was like this, for the last 2.5 or 3 years it is like this. Poor Shiva, the temple is of Shiva. He got the water to the land. That Shiva was getting abhisheka of that contaminated water for the last decade. But after our intervention, the Shiva is getting a clean water abhisheka. Now he is so happy, he and his son both are happy. You might ask why? How do I know? Because last 2.5 years, my students, whatever they have done, we have succeeded. Sometimes awards come, people go behind these politicians seeking for the award, but it came on its own. So this is the beauty of the thing. When you do something for the society, and when the mother nature gets a benefit, rewards comes to you on its own. You do not have to go and lick anybody's boots. See, as a youth of today, you should keep these words in mind. The day when you lick somebody's boot for your award, that day is the tragedy in the country, the tragic day in the country. The day when the award comes searching for you, I would say that you have done something for the country. Okay? Now, let us see the advantage of trees. This climber is there in the campus. See, this climber, when I was a student, I was fascinated by this architecture. I thought that, okay, I should have it in my Bangalore and that too in my campus. I took it to the Bangalore. You see, this is the pod I took to the Bangalore. 7 seeds in 7 locations I planted. Out of 7 locations, in only 1 location it has survived. Which is that location? You also should keep in mind, this was planted by me when I was a student like you all. And it has survived. That is next to this building where I have worked for almost 2 decades now. That means plants know who will take care. Otherwise, why it has to come up there? Why it did not come up in other 6 places? Can anybody prove that I am wrong? You prove it, then I will withdraw my statement. Till then, you have to accept the nature keeps tab on us. Okay? Now, in front of the department, we created a mini forest. Of 2 hectares, 49 species, native species, 500 sapling. This again when I was of your age, maybe slightly elder to your age. So today, you see that the region has become, you get a feel of the rainforest, okay? And more importantly, look at the thing, who is there now? There is one more fellow, the 4 families of them are happily be there. Slender loris is there. Now, and other important for the society, See the groundwater which was 150 feet before my forest, today I get water at 10 feet. You know, by creating the forest, I have increased the water in my well, in the campus. Whereas in other places in Bangalore, it has gone down to 1000 to 1500 feet. What is the scientific intervention here? Selecting the right species and planting it and monitoring it, nurturing it. That's what we did. So now, see, another thing is whatever we learn, we give it to the society, the children. You know, we organize a symposium popularly known as Lake Symposium once in 2 years. I've been doing it from 98. 11th event, we did it in Alvas, Mudbidre. The uniqueness of this event is from 98 is 1 day is for the school children to present. They take part in all 3 days. They get the opportunity to interact with international and national experts like me and others. At the same time, they learn. And today those children who have taken part, I see them, they have become faculty in IITs and other big institutions in the country. Some of you might have come. This is the Alvas what we did in 2016 and 2018. You see, I put everyone on the dash. All stakeholders, the politicians, the engineers, then the spiritual leaders. See, this is a message I am giving. Please do not discard any section of the society in our country. If you want sustainability, you want happiness, science, society and spirituality has to go hand in hand. The day when you try to deal in this, then you have a crisis. See, why I need this spiritual leader? Because I can communicate to 200 people at a time, but they can communicate to few thousands of people. Those are the great ambassador for us. For me, irrespective of religion, I have all people, you know. I have brothers, sisters, nuns, and even the Muslim person also. I have a couple of people who take our message forward. Okay. See, this is how the school children take part in our orientation program. The children are trained for 2 years. Those who do well will come for the Lake Symposium. They do the presentation there. You can see that how my students train them, and the children start doing the experiment. They do the experiment related to the water or the ecosystem, for example, water body, mapping, water quality, etc. Then the students are trained by my postdoctoral fellows and students. Then they go and collect the sample, they come to our lab and analyze, and similar thing we do in rural area where the children have to do the mapping of the diverse, the resources there, plant and animal species there. See, in one of the village I found 12 varieties of brinjal. At one end we talk about BT brinjal, which makes the farmers to die, or BT cotton. You know, you are at mercy of multinational company. But I have 12 varieties, one is for the productivity, another for the fragrance. If I hybridize it, I have a sustainable food for my people. That's what you people have to do. Find out what other resources are there, how to optimize it. At the same time, farmers are happy. You know, today you look at the statistics of farmer committing suicide. Those who have switched over to BT are the one are dying, not our traditional varieties. Okay. So this is the thing. We also offer courses for the people working in industries and the universities. This is the 16th session I conducted. So those who want, now next session, this is for the second year, the master student. You can register for the course. This is on environmental management and solid waste management. So see, when you look at the country, you have water body where you have algae, which has the potential for biofuel, and the country landscape is rich in solar energy, and the youth power, 65% of the country's population is youth. If I harvest all these three, I have the country, the developed country. That's what we are looking for. That is what we are, some of us move around, convey the message. And if you want more details on this, you can contact me through this email, or can go to this website, and you can, all my publications are available online. You can download, you can read. When you access the web page, it looks like this. You see the link and research paper, everything is available. When you click on research paper section, all the publications are put with the themes. If you want energy, you have this one. So then papers are also available. Similarly, related to the water bodies, you have the articles. Okay. Now, if you have done well, it's because of these youngsters who are working with me. So, you know, about 30 of them are doing a marvelous job. Okay. Of course, we are contributing to the nation, and you can also do it. You have immense potential. With this kind of sessions, probably you might do still better. So I wish you the success, and keep in mind, as an Indian, think of doing something to your country at least one day in your life. Don't go die as another human being on the earth. Make that you are a different Indian, so that country feel proud of you. Thank you very much. I can take one or two questions.
The session is open for discussion.
Kerala has happened. That means scientists don't predict, scientists also caution the system, they should do it. You know, the Coorg, if you see the last 3.5 decades, we have lost about 30% of vegetation, the forests. Every great man on the earth has a big patch of forest encroached. The Satyam Raju, who is in the jail, but he has 800 acres of forest land converted into the coffee plantation. Okay? Then ex-home minister, 1000 acre in Virajpet, but I was told the similar number is there in other taluks also. And the Bangalore district minister has 1200 acres in Virajpet with the helipad and resort. The day we youngsters start questioning this kind of illegal amassing of the wealth, we will put an end to this kind of thing. First and foremost thing is, forest land is a common land. All of us have the right over the thing, not only these jokers. Unfortunately, those jokers have got upper hand because we have become a silent spectators. The day when you start questioning, that is where science can help. Today, I have the data from forest department to say where the forests are there. I also give the thing. If you see that there is in fact, I was working on the Coorg report when I was sitting in the morning there. I was giving the final touches to the thing. See, that is where people have to understand that. The moment somebody has a thing in the forest area, you can ask. See, today with the digitization, having this spatial data on the net, you can find out where is the forest boundary, who has encroached. Then you have to counter that people legally and see that they are evicted. Then only the things will start seeing the shape. But unfortunately, that is not happening. Only few of us have raised the thing. See, when I raise this kind of issues in Bangalore, for example, giving a contaminated water to the Kolar, I raised the thing based on my report. The Supreme Court has stopped it. But what is the implication of that? One of the minister whose son is a contractor feels very uncomfortable with my report. So he gives in Deccan Herald interview against me, and also then after his utterances in the paper, there are 5 threatening letters to me and 2 phone calls. In fact, I told my students, as long as my students are there, nobody can touch me. So that is the kind of the thing. And so far, I knew that guy can't do anything much. In fact, whenever I travel, people keep telling me, are you not careful? I said, why should I be worried of anything? I am doing something for the society. As long as I am doing for the society, society provides the shield to me. I need not worry about that. But why I highlighted this at this moment is, the threatening thing happens, instigations do happen, you should not take a back seat. You should. I started my career, and today my name is known in the system because I worked without fear and worked for the society. That's the thing. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. Your session